Recognizing her spiritual barrenness, a closed door into his presence, she cried out to the Lord, "Tell me, O you whom my soul loves, where you feed, where you make your flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turns aside by the flocks of your companions?" Song of Solomon 1:7. She has become so busy and self-reliant that she failed to recognize his voice when he sought to direct her path to himself. Now the Lord has arrested her attention, and she is ready to listen. He used the daughters, those close to her, to chasten her. She has learned that she needs more than just being blessed by the overflow of someone else's spiritual experience, the flocks of your companions. She understands that being fed by the testimony or ministry of another is good, but not sufficient to meet her deepest need. She has come to the place in her spiritual development where she realizes that it is essential for her to personally and intimately know Jesus. She must abide in him or die. With intense desire, she longs to know what she should do and asks the Lord for guidance. "Tell me." Song of Solomon 1:7. He quickly answers her, "If you know not, O you fairest among women, go your way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed your kids beside the shepherd's tents." Song of Solomon 1:8. The Lord instructed her to search out those who are of like spirit to him, who truly know and walk with him, footsteps of the flock. She is to find and follow them, as they will lead her to him, the shepherd's tent, rather than to themselves. The intense spiritual hunger, which is stirring the bride at this time, has captivated the Lord's attention. Her enlightened and expressed desire to personally know him has caused Jesus to turn aside from the daughters of Jerusalem to seek her alone as his potential bride. She has come to the place where she is determined to intently follow after him. Because of her newly acquired singular desire toward him, the Lord has reciprocated by singularly turning his interest toward her. Now he will begin to cultivate a special relationship with her. His approbation, divine favor, now rests upon her. "There are virgins without number. My dove, my undefiled, is but one." Song of Solomon 6:8-9. Therefore, he spoke a very encouraging word to her. "I have compared you, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots." Song of Solomon 1:9. This becomes a very powerful and penetrating compliment when it's properly understood. Challenged by the spiritual potential that has been dormant within her, the Lord is revealing his intention to bring forth from within her the very best. At that time, Pharaoh was the greatest of the world's rulers. His agents were sent throughout the known world to seek immature ponies that had the potential to be hitched to Pharaoh's magnificent chariot, overlaid with gold. From among these, the horses that would pull his chariot were prepared through intense, progressive training and discipline. Then at special times, these carefully chosen horses were hitched to the chariot of the king. In a resplendent demonstration of beauty, harmony, and power, they brought forth the king into full view, displaying him in all of his regal glory. For many are called, but few are chosen, to bring forth the King of all kings in his regal glory. Matthew 22:14, comment added. Thus the Lord is telling the bride that he has seen within her the quality and the potential that will enable her to successfully respond to his training and discipline. By submitting herself to the necessary process of qualification, she will be prepared to become a part of those who will bring forth the King of Kings in all of his beauty, majesty, and sovereign glory in the coming day of his manifestation in glory and power. Parousia. When he shall come to be glorified in his saints, the bride, and to be admired in all of them that believe, the daughters of Jerusalem. 2 Thessalonians 1:10. Comments added. The Lord elaborated further concerning this potential that he has seen within her and said, "Your cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, your neck with chains of gold. We will make you borders of gold with studs of silver." Song of Solomon 1:10 and 11. Gold is a type of the divine nature, the image of our Lord Jesus Christ. Silver speaks of righteousness or right living, and jewels speak of enhanced beauty. Here is set forth the character and the beauty that our heavenly bridegroom desires in his bride and in us, as he intends to make her conformable to his image, gold, and likeness, silver. Then in confidence, he will be able to present her, his bride, in open view before mankind as a witness, jewels of his nature and character. The bride responded with disbelief and reluctance to his expression of insight and encouragement concerning the potential that he saw within her, as she did not feel worthy or capable of all that the Lord said about her. Therefore she replied, "Behold, you are fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also, our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir." Song of Solomon 1:16 and 17. The cedar and fir tree were common in this area. Apparently, her house was ordinary, and her bedroom plain. Our bed is green. She is saying, "Lord, this potential, green, that you see within me, that of royalty and of becoming righteous, Lord, all this seems beyond me. I'm a simple, ordinary person without any special qualities or abilities. I have very little to offer." Then she added, "I am but a rose from the Sharon, just a lily in the valleys." Song of Solomon 2:1, Complete Jewish Bible. "I am just one of so many, Lord." There were multiplied thousands of these lilies covering the hillsides and the valleys. Why should you single me out? His approbation or favor resting upon her. "Lord, what do you see in me?" The power and contrast in his reply to her is both penetrating and beautiful. "As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters." Song of Solomon 2:2. He is saying to her and to us, "You may be as you say, but I saw the hunger of your heart. I was moved by your determination to obediently respond to me when you first prayed, 'Draw me,' and by your willingness to change your ways when you said, 'Tell me.' You were expressing a longing for something more than your present experience, and it turned my heart and desire toward you." Even though she has no apparent ability or talents, the Lord saw the spiritual hunger and potential within her, and he began to draw her to himself as his bride. These seeming limitations were not a hindrance to the Lord at all. Rather, he saw these as a challenge to bring forth the highest and best from the dormant spiritual capacity that lay hidden within her. He had said, "As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters." Song of Solomon 2:2. This is a beautiful and intense comparison. He saw her as being more desirable than all others. To this she responded, "As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons." Song of Solomon 2:3. An apple tree is unattractive, but its fruit is a delight to the physical senses. She's telling the Lord that she sees him as being like this apple tree, because she greatly desires the blessings and gifts, apples, that he's able to give her. Therefore she adds, "Stay me with flagons, comfort me with apples, for I am sick of love." Song of Solomon 2:5. She possesses an intense spiritual hunger, but has misappropriated its intended purpose. Rather than waiting for spiritual fulfillment, She's seeking a present satisfaction through natural means. This is a poor comparison, but it was the best that she was capable of expressing at this time in her relationship to him. Even so, he was pleased with her progress and continued to give her all that she desired, because he recognized that she had said it out of the sincerity of her heart. Afterwards, she testified about his continued goodness to her. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. Song of Solomon 2:3. She has come into a feeling of satisfaction and rest, and spoke of the comfort of his shadow. The Lord had met her need, and she seemingly was satisfied with the blessings she had received, even though she was only able to relate to his shadow at this time. She did not yet understand that his shadow is far less than the reality of his presence. Now that she has come into a time of rest, the Lord patiently waits for her to come to the understanding that she was created for much more than these blessings, which he is able to give her in abundance. During this critical time, he continued to declare his love to her, and then in anticipation awaits her response. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. Song of Solomon 2:4. The Lord longs for us to vocally respond to his desire for our companionship. Therefore, he restricts all those who would distract her, that she might discover her need to come to him alone. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes or by the hinds of the field, that you stir not up nor awake my love till she please. Song of Solomon 2:7. She from the NAS margin. The Lord is saying to all those who are around her, including pastors, counselors, and friends, do not try to please or satisfy her. It is my intention that she will become dissatisfied with her present feelings of fulfillment and contentment with all the blessings that I've given her. I long for her to seek after me for myself. There is a foundational spiritual principle expressed in the Sermon on the Mount that applies to the bride's spiritual need at this time. Blessed are the poor in spirit, those who have come to the end of all self-seeking, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, the higher realms of his presence. Matthew 5:3, comments added. We may feel that we are waiting for the Lord, when in reality, he is waiting for us. If we're satisfied with our present level of spiritual understanding and growth, he will leave us there. The responsibility for entering the next step is upon us. For he had said concerning her, do not stir up nor awake my love until she please. Song of Solomon 2:7. When we're ready to go further, he will respond. As the bride rested within the banqueting house, satisfied with the many blessings she had received, the Lord continued to speak to her concerning his desire to make himself personally and intimately known to her. His banner over me was love. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand does embrace me. Song of Solomon 2:4 and 6. This caused a stirring and gradual awakening within her, and she began to desire him above all else. Finally, she recognized and responded to his presence. The voice of my beloved! Behold, he comes, leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. Song of Solomon 2:8. Her excited response stirred him to begin the next step in preparing her to become his bride. He withdrew himself and stood in the shadows, outside the banquet room of her present experience. She is yet incapable of realizing that his seeming withdrawal is actually a blessing intended to bring her up another step, upon which the experience of his manifest presence will be made available to her. My beloved is like a roe or a young hart. Behold, he stands behind our wall. He looks forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice. Song of Solomon 2:9. Hoping that she will notice him, Jesus gently begins to reveal his presence through the lattice. He, the Lord of glory, reluctantly remains without, alone and lonely, longing for her fellowship while she is within, alone but comfortable, satisfied with all the blessings he has provided. He waits for her to realize that she has been redeemed for a higher purpose and invite him to come within, that they might sup and commune together. Because you say, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, behold, I stand at the door, without, and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. Revelation 3:17 and 20. Our heavenly bridegroom is not willing to allow us to continue resting in the area of his shadow, being content with all that he provides. He longs to bring us into the experiential reality of his manifest presence, so he can make himself known to us. He that has my commandments and keeps them, he it is that loves me. And he that loves me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. John 14:21. The word manifest means to make visible to one or more of our 5 physical senses. Our Lord's manifest presence begins at the point where we pass from the letter of the word into the spirit of the word. We are not ready to enter his chambers, experience his manifest presence, if we're satisfied with the fact, shadow, that he is always present, omnipresence, with us. His quickened, manifest presence is to be greatly desired and highly valued, as it speaks of sacred ground within his chambers. Therefore, Jesus knocks upon the door of our spirit, because he desires to introduce us to his manifest presence, in which he can more fully reveal himself to us. If we desire to be among the wise virgins, we will set all else aside and respond quickly when we first hear this knock. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut.